It's just a relief for people to be able to see it safely, that people can escape to the movie theaters. That's what I used to love about movies, to go and escape. That's what I think is a huge draw and a huge reason why cinema can never die. The movie-going experience should live on.
So I wanted to start by asking you, obviously you're playing a character who's literally just called the protagonist, and we find out relatively little about him and about his backstory. So as an actor, how do you approach a character like that?
Well, it excited me that there was very little information about him, because that means we get to create, we get to build from scratch, we get to develop him together, Christopher and I, and that's what we did. It was just a lot of fun to be able to create a character like that.
I mean, I guess one of the first things we learn about him is that he passes that test and he will sort of do whatever it takes, right? So what was the kind of driving force that you were using? Was that it, that kind of sense that he will do whatever it takes to get the job done?
That definitely set the tone, right? Especially if that's our intro to the character in the film. There's something to be said about his vulnerability. I think that's a big strength for him. That it's not a weakness, that he cares. I think that's a strength. That's what separates him from other black ops.
And it's interesting, I mean, there's the relationship with you and Rob Hansen's character. You guys seem to have this very easy kind of camaraderie that's just really fun to watch. How was it between you guys just sort of developing that kind of chemistry?
It's so cool that it read that way, because we had fun working together. I mean, he's a great guy, he's obviously talented. He could do anything as an artist, as an actor. So the fact that he's so humble, I think, was what made it so easy.
And the movie obviously has taken on this much larger than life quality that you guys couldn't have known about during filming, which is it's the movie that's kind of the first movie a lot of people are going to be seeing at the cinema post-lockdown. And what's it been like for you, just kind of seeing how the movie has sort of taken on this bigger meaning in this weird year?
It's just a relief for people to be able to see it safely, that people can escape to the movie theaters. That's what I used to love about movies, to go and escape or find myself, get motivated or inspired by something I saw on screen by a character that I connected with, that I can even relate to. My mom said it too after she saw it. She said for those 2.5 hours, she wasn't thinking about what's happening in the world. She was just fully committed to what she was seeing and was enjoying every moment of it. So that's what I think is a huge draw and a huge reason why cinema can never die. The movie-going experience should live on.
It's funny too that you guys have to wear oxygen masks for so much of it.
Christopher Nolan seems to always be ahead of the game, right? He just knows. He already knows. He knows before it happens. Those masks were really hard. I mean, Rob had to drive in them. He said he could barely see. I'm having to run and they fog up. But, and it's hard to see, and you're still you're shooting a gun. You don't even know where you can see half the time. But if it looks good on camera, then you just keep going with it. So those are great challenges.
Well, and in terms of just getting your head around the physics of the movie, I guess, without getting into spoilers, there's a lot happening with time going backwards, etc. How much of that do you need to kind of have in your head to play those scenes, and how much of it were you just kind of okay, I'm going with this. I know what's happening for my character instinctively?
Well, there is an instinct that I couldn't ignore that would win the battle of the intellectual understanding of the concept. Where you wanted to live was a happy marriage, if you can merge the two. So it was important for me to just be super familiar with the script. I was unafraid of asking any stupid questions. I thought there was no such thing, and Chris made me feel that way. I'd ask them questions constantly so I can have the emotion catch up to the logic. Sometimes the logic needed to catch up to what I believe he would feel in the moment, even if I can't all the way explain what it was. But some of those moments are that, but that you can't explain exactly what it is. I think that's what the movie and this character specifically is dealing with, is the rediscovery of self.
Yeah, for you, what was the kind of human core of the story kind of behind all the physics and the science?
That he's willing to risk his life for not just the mission, because that's what you sign up for, but for the guys he's working with, for his men in the opening first 15 minutes, what he was willing to do, throw it away just like that, throw his life away, and not even hesitate. To me, that's human. That's somebody who cares. Also, what he's willing to do, seeing a mother and a son, what that meant to him, and Kat's character and Elizabeth Debicki's character, what that means to him. I think there's something human about that. The fact that he just cares, that's a great human quality.
I want to run a fan theory past you, which I don't know how much you've been engaging with the various fan theories. One of the most popular ones is that Neil is actually Kat's son.
Yeah, I heard that one the other day. I'm I like that idea. That's really cool. I like that one, yeah. I don't know if it's true or not. I mean, you gotta ask Chris, but if there's another one and they introduce that, that would be a lot of fun.
Talking about that, the ending does seem, because obviously Chris Nolan's movies, except for Batman, don't tend to have sequels, but there is that part where Neil's talking about all these adventures that you guys have had together or will have together, as yes. Do you think there could be a continuation? Because it feels like there's a lot of ground to be, still mined.
In my mind, that's a yes. Yeah, we will be doing this again. We'll see in a couple years. But in reality, I don't know if Chris does what he wants. Maybe he has something that he's developed for years that he wants to do next. Maybe he's been inspired by something else he sees and wants to do that. I don't know, but I hope we get to do it again. I hope we get to explore more because I think we found something really unique.
Well, thank you so much for your time and congrats on the movie.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.